The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 8 great days of racing starting on Saturday, June 22nd. The opening day program will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 29th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Thursday, 4th of July, and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 6th. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. Opening day, Saturday, June 22nd.
And welcome everyone to the Los Alamitos preview show. And we got a full house here on the preview show. And why not? We're going to have full day and nights of racing here this weekend at Los Al. So I figured it'd be appropriate to start the show this way. Welcome to our panel here, Michael Rona in the announcer's booth. Michael, what a beautiful view you have there. In the announcer's view, we have, of course, Christopher Wade, the host of the simulcast show here at Los Alamitos, and George Duarte, the trackman here at Los Alamitos, also does the program commentary. How is everyone? We'll start with you, Michael. What a view.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? And a glorious day and a good weather forecast for opening weekend of the daytime meet. I had a few things to just get organized here. I stopped by the track. It's a Friday afternoon as we're recording this, and I thought, oh, well, let's change up the scenery and get off the couch at home and actually record a preview show from the track.
Absolutely. I'm actually just a few feet below you. I'm in the press box here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. That's where I do the show from. And Chris Wade, sometimes we see you in the Vessels Club. Today, you're relaxing there at home after I know you put in a lot of work. I actually got some comments on our Twitter page just kind of complimenting you on the great work that you do on the simulcast races. I know you put in a lot of work looking at tracks all around the country, Chris.
Yeah. We do the numbers at in anything Louisiana, Delta Downs, and then we do the video work in regards to, say, Remington and or Sam Houston. They got Rotella Park coming up pretty quickly. So we do all the video work for those tracks, and the Trackmaster numbers are pretty good. The Platinum Plus, I recommend that. Analysts are really good, that program. And, of course, the Los Al numbers, all the videotape and track variants. The numbers have been doing relatively well as of late.
And one person I recommend everyone to follow is, of course, George Duarte, who does the commentary on the Nightlines program. I actually have the Nightlines right here for Saturday, and I have also the daytime book as well. So we got 2 books already out for Saturday. George, you put a lot of work into the comments on the Nightlines program. How are you doing?
I'm a little tired because I got up early to do these comments. I like to get them in as early as possible.
Oh, here's the violin right here. Oh, really tired. Come on. We had, 12, 14 races at Burke Night. You know, we have double action going on. So you get a little bit of a respite, only 8 races at night. And what's the first thing you say? A little tired.
Hey, I say, well, it was a rough night. My dog was barking all night, chasing raccoons. So that was the problem.
You know what? Rolo slept like a baby last night, so I was really happy. My dog Rolo.
Very
well, we have some exciting racing going on Saturday, the opening day of the Los Alamitos daytime meet. This is actually the LA County Fair meet at Los Alamitos. 9 races on tap in the Bertrando Stakes, the feature event on Saturday. Nick Alexander has a couple of nice horses going in there. Lovesick Blues ran second in the Bertrando last year. He is one of the top names going into this year. But of course, this is we concentrate quite a bit on the nighttime action here at Los Al. So we have to talk about what happened last week. My, oh my, we had a heck of a performances all throughout the weekend. We'll talk a little bit about London Toby with Chris. Michael, your thoughts about the Ed Burke Million Futurity Final?
Well, first and foremost, what a great advertisement for the Los Alamitos equine sale. For Up to Party to have gone through that sale last year and be sold for $12,000. What a bargain. And a phenomenal performance and a big weekend for Monty, Arrossa and Dunn Ranch because, of course, Patty Saint had won the Abigail Kawananakoa on Saturday night. So they got the big race double Saturday night and Sunday night. And she's terrific. Lone filly, undefeated, and a very good effort. When we spoke on the preview show last week, Orlando, I was assigned to the 4 Arrossa horses to preview, and I do remember giving a little push for the maiden Ultimate Battle. I thought that he had a bit of a shot at odds, and gee, he ran a great race at 17-1 to finish close second. Very good performance. I saw Monty down in Burgarts afterwards, and he quipped that Ultimate Battle might be tough in the maiden stakes. I don't think there'd be many better maidens on the grounds, and I've got a feeling Ultimate Battle won't be a maiden by the time the maiden stakes comes around. It's a shame that Norco did not get a chance to show what he could have done. You never like to see a horse compromised with all the trouble that he had, given the ability he's blessed with. But that's racing, and it happens. And it's the first time that anything's gone wrong for Norco, and I'm sure that we'll see him flourish in the second half of the season. He just had no shot, did he, to do anything in the second half of the race.
Your thoughts on the race, Chris?
Yeah, it's just a shame for Norco. The horse has showed so much ability from the 8 workouts. Never asked to run in the workouts, and Scott Willoughby never pushes his babies. And to do what this horse did in the 2 lifetime starts, it just raised the hair on your arms. The horse showed a ton of ability, and it's just a shame he didn't get a chance to show his ability. But what can I say? Up to Party was up to Party, broke well, finished well over Ultimate Battle, who was well mentored and a very good race, and made it pretty close there at the wire. Nice prize.
I know that can't be Rolo because Orlando's in the press box. George, is that your dog?
Yes, it is.
We might have to meet this dog because I didn't know you had a dog. You know, I've talked about Rolo all the time, and you just don't say a word about your dog. So we might have to meet him a little bit later on. But George, tell me about your thoughts on the Edinburgh Million futurity. I know you sent out the chart early on, but then you went back and looked at the race again and did expanded comments on this. That's available on equibase.com. That would be race number 9 last Sunday. Tell us a little bit about what you thought once you kind of took a deeper dive into the race.
Yeah, like I like to, because it's late at night when the race runs, so I like to have a fresh perspective the following morning and look at it again. And like things I noticed my bud was right there early, right there passing the gap, and then when he encountered that trouble that Norco also encountered, and that just took all his momentum. I think he's one to look to, bet next time. Norco, I think what happened was he on debut had the outside, got away well, and cruised. And then on trial night had a wide path and had no problems again. And this time he was in a lot closer in between horses. And you could tell he kind of wasn't uncomfortable and started weaving early. And lugged in, and then the rival to the outside lugged in and just wiped them out. And so it was a learning experience. It's something that he's never experienced, having, because he's so good, he doesn't have to worry about being in between rivals, often. And he encountered it, he didn't like it, but I think he'll bounce back. And next time he's in tight, he won't, react like he did.
And correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I saw. I saw that Big Hurt broke nicely. He was right there with Up to Party. And as he started lugging in a little bit, just as he started lugging in, Cruz gave him a little tap. And that just kind of made him go in even further, right into Norco's path. And it looked like Big Hurt kind of was ahead of Norco. So right as it's happening, boom, it bumps Norco. They both kind of get into my butt, and that's pretty much it for those two. It kind of hurt Big Hurt as well. Definitely didn't help him. Meanwhile, we're not talking about what a clean trip Up to Party had. Just kind of like flew away from there. Anything else that you saw about your top pick in that race, Devil's Tower? Who ended up running third.
On Big Hurt, he did break on top. He was in the front. I think that's when Cruz asked once Up to Party, because Up to Party broke about, I think, third and then accelerated to get to the front. I think that's when he tried to hustle his horse, and then it was bad timing. He was lugging in, and it lugged in even more, exaggerated once he asked him right-handed. Devil's Tower had a clean trip. I mean, broke towards the rear, but had no trouble, came straight. I mean, just couldn't, wasn't quick enough early to handle, Up to Party ran, even improved, ran again a fast early fraction, and then finished strong, finished in 9:48, improved off that strong 9:50. I mean, that's, once you got to tip the cap to her. She repeated that effort and, even improved off her effort in the trials.
Well, we have some words here from Monty, Arrossa.
No, they actually, both of them were a little tough. They had a lot of spirit. The guys told me that, they wanted to buck a little bit. They got them going. They broke them in Oklahoma and sent them out here, and they really were talking a lot about the colt, thought he was better. And we worked them the first time just on the backside, and the filly outworked him. And I called Matt and I said, man, I'm kind of surprised the filly outworked the colt. And he said, well, I've kind of always liked the filly better. But the guys at the ranch really were telling me, well, the colt, he's better, the colt's better. And then when we qualified him, it's like, I don't think so. And then when we run him in the maiden race, she definitely was, getting dialed in. So.
But it was a backstretch workout, just down the back here.
Yeah.
How far was it, roughly? 100 yards?
110 yards.
Just a little, let him go?
They gate break them back there, and I like to, when we get them out here, I like to take them back there and work them on the backside and jump them away just to see what they know. Because not that I don't trust them, but I like to see it myself just to see what they know. And so we took them back there and worked them on the backside the first time.
After the trials, you talked about how you like it when the fillies get dialed in. And you just said that again, you kind of mentioned that again. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on this?
We have Political Patty Saint, some of those. They mature early, and they really get focused on running. And if you noticed her in the paddock tonight, she was real focused. She was calm. She was quiet. She was our easiest of the four to saddle. She was just, pretty laid back. Ultimate Battle, he was on his toes. Laredo was on his toes. But the fillies just seem to, I think when they get it, they get it. And, she's kind of got it.
Well, that's Monty Arrossa after the big race, winning the Edberg Million Futurity. Second time that he's won this race. Won the first time in 2020 with Chance to Excel. Now up to party. A bargain purchase at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale. Gets the big money here in the Edberg. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back, talk to Michael Rona, and let's take a look at his selection for this weekend.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 8 great days of racing starting on Saturday, June 22nd. The opening day program will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 29th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Thursday, 4th of July, and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 6th. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. Opening day, Saturday, June 22nd.
And we're back here for the preview show, and again, joined by Michael Rona. I just love that view right behind you, the beautiful lake in the infield at Los Alamitos Racecourse. And are you getting a nice breeze there up there? The weather's beautiful.
Oh, I've got the air conditioning on, mate. The windows are closed and the AC is on. I'll have the windows open working, of course, across the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. I get a much better view that way through the binoculars. But right now, I'm luxuriating in some AC.
Perfect, Michael. Let's talk a little bit about the weekend action. Anything in particular that stands out? Any horse that you are looking forward to seeing on Saturday night here at Los Al?
Well, I've got a pick for Saturday night in a 2-year-old maiden. And that would be so tempting in the 7th race, which is a 2-year-old maiden at 300 yards. And I'm sticking with the hot hand of Monty Arrossa and Armando Cervantes. They have so tempting going from the outside post position in a field of 6 in the 7th on Saturday night, 7-2 on Ed Burgart's morning line. Unlike Up to Party, who's pretty much been flawless, this horse has a lot to learn still, has been doing plenty wrong, has been difficult to ride, has been lugging all over the place, and needs to get straightened out, literally and figuratively, to be able to win this race. But I'm hoping 3rd time's the charm, 2nd time with Cervantes, and certainly the speed and ability is there for so tempting.
Any particular race that we might want to look back and see so tempting in action?
Well, the horse has run twice, most recently in an Edberg Million Futurity trial. It really wasn't a lot to see. So let's go back to the debut run on April 21st, when the horse was drawn wide, had gate 5, and lugged out, circled back in, then lugged in some more. Pretty good effort, I thought, to finish so close.
Yeah, there it is. So tempting, like you said, and there's the lugging out and coming back in, Michael.
Yeah, then shifts in again closer to the wire. And, given that somewhat of a zigzag path, first time out, I thought it was quite a credible effort from So Tempting to finish in the minor placings. Next time out in the Ed Burke Million Trial, the horse had gate 1 and wanted to lug in twice, once early, again mid-race, and really wasn't persevered with. The whip was never used by Cervantes. The horse never really stretched out and proved difficult to ride. And I had to look at the gate works prior to the debut. One of those also, there was quite a bit of lugging. Another one, the horse went straight, and I think won in a 3-horse drill. There's no question there's early speed and ability with So Tempting, and I'm hoping that getting from the rail to the outside post position, if Armando can keep the horse straight in the early strides, I think in an evenly matched group of maidens, that 7-2 is a decent price. Consider that the horse was in the betting in that Ed Burke Million Trial, 6-1, I think. Yeah, 6-1 in that Ed Burke Million Trial. Now, there's a couple of other horses that have come through futurity trials in the field. Number 5, Hunker Burn and Love, was 30-something to 1 in an Ed Burke trial. Terrific Rock and Roll, number 4, was 17 to 1 in his Ed Burke Million Trial. Number 2, Dangerous Guy, the morning line favourite, didn't contest the Ed Burke trials, but did contest a kindergarten trial when sent off at 25 to 1. So just the fact that this horse So Tempting was 6 to 1 in an Ed Burke Million Trial, I think speaks volumes for the ability and the regard that the barn has. And so that horse will do me nicely from the outside post in the 7th on Saturday. So Tempting.
Excellent. And of course, Sunday we have another nice 8-race card on Sunday night. And let's take a look. The program is headed by a couple of 1,000-yard stakes races. These are the summer finals at Los Alamitos, and there'll be races 4 and 8. So let's take a look at race number 4 really quick. These are the fillies and mares. They're running for a $30,000 race. There's Coruscation, winner the last 2 races after some not so great races to begin the season. Time to Smile, 10 to 1 on the morning line. Angela Aquino, the trainer. Island Life, 4-time winner already this season, has raced 7 times and has hit the board, either finishing first or second 6 times out of those 7. Shanghai Surprise at 8 to 1 for Sergio Morfin. My Little Runaway is the number 5 horse at 9 to 2. Alfredo Volcolo. He's had a really nice meet, and his horses do really well here at Los Al. Sweet Sony, a former winner of a winter final for fillies and mares. In fact, defeated Coruscation a few finals ago. Dancing Soul at 4 to 1 for Sally Rivera. Macy Joe at 30 to 1. Number 9, Runaway Sally at 30 to 1. That's the field for the distaff. And then let's move forward a little bit here, Michael, to race number 8 on Sunday night. Dream Rover 8 to 1. Famous Star, Piper's Causeway, Perfect D. We're gonna have a good time. Lawless World, Project Leader at 4 to 1. This horse has won all 4 stars this year at Los Alamitos. For the year, his only setback was a 3rd place finish at Turf Paradise. Hugman Nay, 30 to 1. Vinny the Coin, 9 to 2. And Proud Veteran, also eligible when the entries came out. He draws into the race after Helatic scratches, 6 to 1. And this horse has been a Proud Veteran. The name fits him right because he always delivers nice races. 5 wins here in the course of his career. Last year ran 8 times, only won once, but finished second 4 times. Anything that stands out, Michael, about these 2 finals? And tell me your thoughts just on the 1,000-yard races. You've called so many of them here at Los Alamitos now.
Well, for the filly and mare race, I think that it's all about Coruscation. She's the class runner. She ran second in the final for the Fillies and Mares last December. She ran second in the final for the Fillies and Mares last summer. And those two races show up there on the past performances on the screen, which cover the last 10 races. The race in June last year is the bottom race, went second to Trouble in Paradise, and she was second last December to Rufa Redknot. What doesn't show, I'm almost certain, Orlando, that Coruscation also finished on the board in the December 2022 filly and mare race. I think that's the race where Jesus Arunga trained the first, second, and third horses, and Coruscation was one of them. She has featured prominently in the last 3 editions of this race, the point series race. Horses, of course, accrue points for competing in 1,000-yard races in each half of the year across 6 months. And she's just been such a good, honest campaigner over a period of time, couple of seasons at least at Los Alamitos. And this is her big chance to actually land in the winner's circle in one of these races, because I don't think there's a standout like she has faced in the previous editions. It's a good field, but I don't see a horse that she should be really scared about. And while she might have taken just a couple of runs to really hit her stride this season, the switch to Adrian Escobedo has worked brilliantly. I think he's done a fantastic job on her in the 2 wins most recently, and rides again. He just has to navigate a trip from the rail. She won't necessarily lead, but she'll be just in behind them. If he can just sit off them slightly and maneuver a path, I think it's her race to lose. I just think she's the best horse in the field, and she deserves to be favourite. And frankly, personally, I hope she wins because I think she deserves it.
You're 100% right. She did run second to Sweet Sonny. In fact, the background photo here, actually, that's Sweet Sonny right there. That's Coruscation right behind her right there. So you're absolutely right. That's the background photo for this episode, is the winter final from a few years ago.
Oh, right. Oh, what a coincidence. Great work. I love it. Okay, and that other race, the 1,000-yard race on Sunday night, how much speed is in that race? Even though Helatic has scratched, there's still so much pace. I think the also eligible drawing in could be key. I think he can run a huge race, proud veteran. But I'd be looking for something to come from off a very, very hotly contested pace. I'm looking for something to be able to just run on, because the speed might implode in that 8th race on Sunday night.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Michael. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you in the booth all weekend long here at Losa.
Good on ya. Hooroo.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Our next marquee event is the Grade 1 Vessel's Maturity on Sunday, July 7th. Headed by Brad McKenzie Winter Championship winner London Toby, plus 2022 World Champion Impression returns for his first start in California this year. The field will also feature Los Alamitos Super Derby winner Jericho. The best older horses in the nation will be in action. The Vessel's Maturity on Sunday, July 7th. The best of racing, always at Los Alamitos.
And we're back here in the preview show, joined by Chris Wade, the host of the simulcast show here at Los Alamitos. Chris, we heard your thoughts about the Edberg Million Futurity. What did you think of London Toby in the Via Bono?
Just his typical incredible self. A horse has got so much talent. It's absolutely ridiculous. This horse came off a 119-night layoff after winning the previous start as 5-1 with good amount of trouble along the way. Had an A+ workout, that 17-8 workout. I gave it A+-. Just so much talent. Broke on the lead. On my charts in that particular race, the horse figured along the lines, 1960, 1965. Did come back in 1982, but you know what? Was never asked to run. Broke well, finished even better. So much talent. And great connections, great horse. What can you say? Great performance.
Yeah, you're right. He's just been tremendous He's just hitting his peak now. We know that he's had some health issues over the course of his career. He's been pretty healthy, and now with that health, he's just reaching higher heights here at Los Alamitos. Won the winter championship, and like you mentioned, just a super effort in the Villa Bono Stakes here at Los Alamitos. We had a chance to talk to Scott Willoughby after the race, so let's hear what he had to say.
Well, mission accomplished with London Toby. Gets a victory, gets ready for the vessel's maturity. You cannot plan it any better, right?
Yeah, it couldn't be any better. I mean, we didn't have trials for the vessels. They needed a race. Hadn't run since January. This was a perfect little spot for him, and he ran a great race. Gabriel did a great job with him. Got hit away from the gate a little bit. Just picked him up and let him run. He finished extremely strong. So very happy with him going into the big race.
Thank you so much.
There's Scott Willoughby. Now headed to the vessel's maturity is London Toby, looking to continue that tremendous streak that he's been on here at Los Al. And we showed a commercial during the break of what we can expect for the vessel's maturity. Impress him. We'll be back. Jericho, the Los Alamitos Super Derby winner, will also be back. Lawless Wallace, who ran a really nice race here at Los Al, he's also being pointed for that race as well. Several of the other horses that were in the Villa Bono will also be back in the vessel's maturity. So a heck of a race in store here at Los Alamitos. That's going to be on Sunday, July the 7th here. Well, Chris, let's talk about the weekend action. I know that you have a horse to watch here. Tell me about it.
I'm going to give this horse another look. This horse did show some talent prior to two troubled with the debut and then the recent trial in the Ed Burke. This horse is a C+ and a B- prior to the trouble. We're talking about the 4 VGK Ziegfeld Follies there in tonight's fifth event with case off the late pick 4. This, like I said, showed some talent, had trouble in the debut and breaking slow, veering out, finishing okay, got the long shot W, horse to watch off of that effort, then came right back in the trials against a quality group of runners in the Edinburgh trials. And 27 nights ago, and this horse did break slow, was crossed, was under a tight hold late, but with everything factored in the trouble, the track variant, the horse earned a decent figure. And at 7-2 on the morning line, I'm going to give this horse a look there in that fifth race, kicking off the late pick 4 on Saturday night.
There she is, VGK Ziegfeld Follies, Dan Farias and Rodrigo Aceves. Man, they won so many races over the course of their career. They won so many races together. BP A Million Dreams is an interesting filly by Apolitical Jess out of the tremendous stock of Bill Price. Rise via Remington Park had a good workout, I thought, on June the 8th. The time 12.4. This horse could certainly have gone faster if pushed by the rider. That's the 5 BP A Million Dreams. But you're focusing on the 4 VGK Ziegfeld Follies. It's an interesting group. I like the 1 Beach Walk from the rail, Juan Alaman. Talk about a tremendous stock. When we're talking about fillies and mares, Gentry Farms is always right there with just tremendous fillies. This 1 Beach Walk out of Heartbeat, and Heartbeat has produced some nice runners here that we've seen at Los Alamitos. So let's cue up the race, race for VGK Ziegfeld Follies, a past race for this filly. We're going to take a look at that May 26th race. That will be race number 2, a futurity trial against none other than Big Hurt, who we talked about. He qualified to the Ed Burke Million. Here's VGK Ziegfeld Follies going against Big Hurt. Well, there's VGK Ziegfeld Follies. Tell me what you see, Chris.
Yeah, the horse leaned back at the start, but bumped back and lost a length and a half to 3/4. Kind of slow on the stride, but for the nice one weight under a hold, you can see the horse finishing amongst those horses in the back, but had a good amount of run under a hold. And the harder the rider pulls, the faster I count. And this horse had a good amount of trouble, did show a decent amount of run, is much, much better than shown, and just needs a clean getaway to be a big factor. And it's drawn up against Change Up, a horse who have veered in steadily in that debut. So the horse veers in, the horse could get a clear triple wire. And we'll have to beat the shipper coming in from Remington Park there from Arrossa, who the horse ran a decent race against quality opposition. back in March, but I'm going to give the look slight edge to VGK Ziegfeld Follies with hopefully a decent getaway.
Yeah, let's take one more look there at that start, breaking from post number 6. So right there, right under post number 6, let's take one more look at VJK Ziegfeld Follies. Okay, it's going to open and boom, right there, the bump kind of gets a little pinball there, like you were saying, Chris.
Yeah, broke a little bit slow, was bumped back and crossed, and was basically under a hold throughout, but was starting out relatively well the final half of the affair, showing a good amount of run. Is a nice-sized individual, so I expect hopefully a clean getaway here tonight. And Lucky Lifetime start number 3 to break and have a clear path to wire. And at 7-2, the horse got a nice look.
Perfect. We talked to Michael Rona about the 2 1,000-yard races. Any thoughts on those 2 races, Chris?
Yeah, you got to give the look to Corsication. This horse, since connecting with Adrian Escobodo, is 2 for 2. The horse had always showed good amount of talent, was always coming a little bit short in these previous races, and was coming up, been favored a number of times and running relatively well, but, running second, running third. But since connecting with Adrian, the horse is 2 for 2. His concern is the inside post. There's a good amount of speed in the field. You got the horse chipping in off the turf race at from Santa Anita, Dancing Soul. Don't forget, if they have speed in the turf, they like Los Alamitos. And this horse will be on the engine, cutting it out. And if you catch a breath, might have a little bit of look versus Corsication, but Corsication going well and should get a nice trip, ground-saving trip on the inside to definitely be the one to beat in the Philly Mare Fair.
Any thoughts on the boys race, the $35,000 eighth?
Oh my gosh. Talk about speed. There is so much speed in this affair. I'm going to give a look to the one shipping in to the outside that drew in off the also eligible list as a chance. Also, we're going to have a good time. Figures get a nice journey and could post a minor upset. And there's a stab of all stabs in there. The horse has got a look to grab a slice of pie at a huge price. The horse has been promising a lot. We're talking about Perfect D. A horse at a big price could grab a slice of the pie at a big price with all this speed signed on. If he gets a decent journey, could get in the mix down the lane and spice up the exotics there in that finale in the boys affair in the 1,000-yard summer championship.
Well, Barrington Harvey is going to be aggressive. He's going to try to get to that lead with Perfect D if he feels that he's got a chance. He's not going to let anything get away from him. If he's got a good horse, Barrington's going to go for it. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, he's got horse has got to look at grab a slice of the pie at a big price. I think he's got a chance.
Well, thanks so much, Chris, for joining us. I know you're very busy. I know you got a lot of tracks to look forward to and continue to study. Thanks so much for all the great work that you do. It does not go unnoticed. I can tell you that.
Thanks, boss. Yeah, we got 12 trials at Delta Downs tonight, so it's a long
Friday night. Yeah, we're filming this show on Friday, so tonight that being Friday. So we do show a lot of those races here at Los Alamitos. So you're in the area and looking for some simulcast action, come and join us here at Los Al and take a look at those races from Delta Downs. Thanks so much, Chris. We'll be back with George Duarte and talk a little bit more Los Alamitos here on the preview show.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick fours. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The early pick four pool was over $213,000 on May 5th, and the late pick four pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the pick six promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
And we're back for the final segment of the preview show. George Duarte, how are you, my friend? How's the dog doing? Has he calmed down? Did you take him for a walk while we were on, talking to Chris and Michael Rona?
No, I haven't had a chance. He calmed down. I think he got his lunch, so she's a little happier right now.
Great. And I know that we were talking before the show about race number 10, and we mentioned how Heladik was scratched from that race, and in comes in the also eligible Proud Veteran. You kind of that kind of made you change a few things on your selections that are in the program. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I just think I think he's a factor. He's my top pick in the race. But the race goes through Project Leader. I mean, there's a lot of speed signed on, but they, in order to get the lead from him is going to be pretty hard. And there's long as he's had the blinkers on, and I'm talking about Project Leader. Once he has the blinkers on and has the lead in the top of the stretch. He has only been passed one time in his career, and that was in March of 2022. So once he has the lead, he does not like to give it up with blinkers on. He's been passed with blinkers off, but with blinkers on, he's only got passed one time, and that was over 2 years ago. So, I mean, if you look at a lot of the other speed has to make a decision. Do you want to burn your chance and go with him or let him go? And that's where it's kind of hard for a lot of, like Vinny the Coin. Vinny the Coin wants to lead. If you look at every time he gets a clear lead, that's his best races. Then inside of them, there's a couple other ones. You have Dream Robber who wants to lead. You have Famous Star who wants to lead. And so then that's where you have to decide: are you going to go with the speed of the speed, or are you going to just sit off and hope to get second? I mean, with a purse of $35,000, second pays good. So it's like, where you decide: are you going to battle with a horse that doesn't get passed in the lane, or are you going to let him go and basically try to run your race for second? So that's what makes the race tough in order to figure out how do you want to bet the race. Because if you think they're all going to go, then it sets up for a horse like Proud Veteran on the outside, because he will get that first run trip. Because what happens a lot of times is when horses battle and you get 3 or 4 deep, the closers behind have to end up getting stuck when the horses come back to them. And then the one that's widest is the one that gets the trip, and that's the trip Proud Veteran should get. He should get about a 3 wide trip, chasing the whoever decides to go with Project Leader.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, just about every one of these horses can you can make a case that they'll try to challenge for that lead, but if Project Leader breaks, and I got to give you the stat of the show right there for what you just talked about with the blinkers on Project Leader. Wow. A lot of great research there on that one, George. But yeah, outside of Lawless World, I'm looking at these horses. Perfect D probably can, would sit. We're going to have a good time. We'll probably sit. But just about everybody else, they're going to give it their best shot early on. And, Proud Veteran, he's going to sit outside of Perfect Leader. So he's going to have something to run at, and definitely not a horse that wants to be too far back, but just close enough, stalking close enough where he can unleash that nice run that we've seen him do. He hasn't won in a while, going back to June 18th of 2023, but he does have really good times. He's going to be somewhere around the 52.5 mark. So that's definitely a good enough time to be right there at the end. And Diego Herrera, talk about a tremendous rider. He's settled in nicely across town, and he does some really nice work. Won this race with his lining, I believe it was last year. But yeah, the number 10 horse, Proud Veteran, 6-1, very, very interesting horse, and a very, very interesting setup that's going to be for this race here in race number 8.
One thing I like is that Diego, he's smart. He's a smart rider. He knows that there's a lot of speed in here and won't challenge for the lead. So I'm sure he's already developing a game plan of how he's gonna, sit off of him and then make that move to be the first run at the leader. So that's one of the main reasons I took him. I just really like Diego. I think he's a smart, good up and coming rider.
And the last win that Proud Veteran had back in June of 2023, Diego Herrera was up on this horse. He came back and rode him again and finished second against Figaro. Figaro was probably around the time that Figaro was at the peak of his game here at Los Alamitos. So a really good race. 10 horses in there at 1,000 yards for a nice purse, $35,000. I just got to point out that the Winter Series starts this weekend as well. So horses that are running in the 1,000-yard races this weekend will start gathering points to make it to the big final in the Winter time. So the 1,000-yard division continues to roll on here at Los Alamitos. I'll ask you the same question that I did Chris and Michael about race number 4. They both think that the race goes right through Coruscation. She's finished second 3 times in this race. Is this her time, George?
Well, I picked against her. I hope she's she's the bridesmaid once again. Never the bride. I mean, I respect her. She is the best horse in the race, but the rail draw is the issue. Is like, is Adrian gonna try to press for the lead or sit off of it? And then the problem is that you might be tucked inside and then trying to hope that the inside opens and into the lane, or find a way to get out. So that's why at 9-5 I had to take a shot. So I'm taking the shot with I think it's My Little Runaway. I think she's the speed of I think they have one way of going, which is to the front. So a lot of these stakes races at 1,000 yards have been won by whoever's up in the front, because there's so much speed. Usually whoever qualifies is usually a lot of speed qualifies, and who ends up winning is the speed of speed. I think she's the speed of speed, and I'm just hoping that she can, Coruscation finds some trouble, a little bit of trouble, and she can hold on.
So the head-to-head of the week is going to be George versus everybody else here in race number 4 on Sunday. I like the 5, My Little Runaway. Picked her second in the Nightlines program. Alfredo Bocola, like I mentioned earlier, I think he does really nice work here at Los Al with his horses here at Los Al. And the 5, My Little Runaway, I think has the ability, and like you mentioned, should sit there, either go for the lead or should sit there right off of Coruscation. In either way, have a chance to be in the top places here in race number 4. Sweet Sony is a horse that it's a mare that has won this race in the past, beat Coruscation, as a matter of fact. Do you give this runner with this class any type of a chance here? 7 wins, 12 runner-up efforts.
Well, the trainer certainly knows how to win this race. I mean, he always points to these, and he and that might be what he's been doing with Coruscation, because he gave him he gave her a few easy races, and then has really put the running to her and gotten her fit. So I think that's his best chance. But yes, Sweet Sunny, as long as they have speed, you have to respect them. She's been facing tougher at Turf Paradise, where it's been hard to be on the lead because the inside 3 or 4 paths are absolutely dead. If you watch any of those replays, nobody's near the rail. Everybody's as far as they can go out. So that's why you see on her line she's 5 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. It's just because the inside is just so bad there right now. So her speed has to be respected. I just hope that my pick, Little Runaway, runs away from them early and holds on.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting race. Both of these finals will be very interesting as well. A lot of speed in race number 8 on Sunday, and will just be a very interesting setup here in the Filly and Mares race. Again, anything else that you want to point out? Anything else that you've looked at that you might want to share with the fans, or are we wrapping up the show now, George?
Oh, I have a long shot.
Okay.
Game on Sunday, actually. It's on race 7, I think it is. Let me make sure. Yeah, race 7.
Should I guess it? Can I guess it? Let me see.
Yes, feel free.
And it's a long shot, you said. So,
well, that only leaves 2 horses.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess I'm gonna go with the 8, Miss Royal Knockout.
Yeah, that's my price play. Like, usually when I look at a race, the first thing I do is who are the favorites and how fast have they ran. And if you look at it, I mean, the only horse that's broken 1580 is Back to Normal, which was in her 2 back, when he first had a LACF. And 1577 is a solid race, and I would say it's probably good enough to win here. So when I see only one horse is basically the one that can break the time that I think is going to win, I try to look for somebody else who I think can, step up and improve. And Miss Royal Knockout, I liked her on debut. Even though if you watch the works and they are slow, but she has drawn inside both of them, lugged into the rail, and is just never really gets asked and hasn't really been asked to do much in the mornings. She same thing happened on debut. The field had to be reloaded when a horse broke through the gate and ran off. So then she had to be reloaded again. Broke a little slow, lugged into the rail, and not asked. But if you look at her action, she is like a quick mover, like her mom, Miss KO. And I like the switch to the jockey Erasmo Gasca because that's who primarily rode her mom. So I think she, I'm hoping it rubs off on her that Gasca had really good success with Miss KO. And I see this race, doesn't have that much speed, drawn outside of a slow breaker and a first-time starter. Finally gets to the outside, and doesn't have to run that great to beat this field. So at 8-1, I was happy with that morning line, and I hope Gasca can, channel her mother's speed and wire this field.
We got to point out that Miss KO actually a place in the Kindergarten Futurity, so a really quick filly. Let's take a look at that race back on May 12th, race number 7. Post position here for this runner. Do you remember the post position here?
Yeah, she had the rail, and this field had to be reloaded when a horse broke through.
Okay, let's take a look here at number 1.
So she did something that's like a picture perfect result of what happens when you break from the rail for the first time. Always does that drift in. So then the riders are not sure once they get to that gap, is the horse going to lug in again? So they just ride really cautiously. She was never asked, and finished fine. I'm not really worried about how she galloped out. She has the same action as her mom, and her mom was really quick. So I think this time out, and Gasca's a good rider, I think she's going to break much better and find this field, soft enough to prevail.
Yeah, the jockey is handwriting it pretty good, and there it goes.
Yeah, you asked her, and then she lugs out right there midway, and then just hand rides to the wire. But you can see she's still green, learning. She kind of like jumped the lights there at the end, so she's she has a lot of growth potential in a field that has had quite a few starts to try to break maiden.
Okay, so that's in race number 7 here on Sunday night. And George Duarte says, take a look at the 4, Miss Royal Knockout, 8-1 on the morning line. Trainer Jesus Nunez. And Jesus Nunez had a really nice week, and I think he had a triple on one of those nights last week. So he's doing really well. Erasmo Gasca with the call on the number 4 horse, Miss Royal Knockout. All right, George, that's going to wrap it up for this week's preview show. Really appreciate the time and all your work there with the Nightlines program, making the selections, writing the comments for each and every horse for the program at Los Alamitos. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a great week. And thank you to all the viewers here on the Los Alamitos preview show. Remember, day and night doubleheaders here at Los Alamitos, 1 p.m. post time for the daytime program, 6:05 p.m. for the 8 race cards, both on Saturday and Sunday night. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon here on the Los Alamitos preview show.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick 4s. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The early pick 4 pool was over $213,000 on May 5th. And the late pick 4 pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the Pick 6 promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights. The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 8 great days of racing starting on Saturday, June 22nd. The opening day program will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 29th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Thursday, 4th of July, and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 6th. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. Opening day, Saturday, June 22nd. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Our next marquee event is the Grade 1 Vessel's Maturity on Sunday, July 7th. Headed by Brad McKenzie Winter Championship winner London Toby. Plus 2022 World Champion Impressum returns for his first start in California this year. The field will also feature Los Alamitos Super Derby winner Jericho. The best older horses in the nation will be in action. The Vessel's Maturity on Sunday, July 7th. The best of racing, always at